What's up, y'all? This is Duana, aka Glamazon 1026, and it's my anniversary. Well, it's not my anniversary. It is the day before my anniversary, which is also the anniversary of the day that I got engaged. So today I'm giving you a story time. Get ready with me because Reggie's taking me out on a surprise date. I mean, it's not a surprise date because I knew it was coming, but I don't know where we're going. So he told me to be ready at a certain time, so I filmed this video for y'all so that y'all can see and I can tell you about how we got engaged. So last year we did the how we got together. This year we're doing how we got engaged. If you guys want to see that, stay tuned. But before we go, make sure that you click the subscription button and the notification bell so that you can become part of the most fabulous, the most glamorous community here on YouTube, the Glam Fam, and know exactly when I upload. I got a lot of great content coming up, and I got a lot of great content that is up already. So make sure that you guys check that out, okay? So without further ado, let's do this face. Let's get to talking. Let's sit down, grab some popcorn, grab your tissues, because it's cute, okay? Y'all are not going to want to miss it. So, guys, we are doing a get ready with me story time because I am going out for my anniversary. My husband told me to be ready at, first he says 7, now I have to be ready by 7:45. I'm going to be getting ready and telling you guys about how we got engaged. So last year we had the anniversary dinner at the house. The chef came and cooked. I told y'all about how we got together, right? And so this year I felt like it was time for me to tell y'all how we got engaged. When we left off last year, we had just like gotten together. We did not stay together because I had some healing that I needed to do by myself. So we had broken up. Then I got a job in Nashville after grad school, and I moved from New York to Nashville. And we hadn't spoken for a while. After we had broken up. He had like gotten a new girlfriend, blah blah blah, whatever. Boo to her, right? Anyway, we hadn't spoken for a while, and then all of a sudden we just started communicating again, like right before I moved to Nashville. So since he lived in Huntsville, which it really isn't that far, it's probably like hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. I asked him if I could send things to his house, like things that I needed for my apartment, and he could bring them up for me one weekend. And so he was like, yeah, that's cool. So I like bought a TV, bought some pots, like all the big things that I didn't want to carry with me, like shop for in New York and carry with me down here. I sent them to his house and he came up and gave them to me. Anyway, so that weekend we kind of like reconnected, realized there was still some feelings there. And then he just started visiting me all the time. And so that was in 2012. And we're just going to fast forward until 2015, which is the year that we got engaged. So earlier that year, like my family, we always go on we usually go on like 2 big vacations a year. And so the plan was one year to go to Antigua because that's where my parents are from. And so we're making plans to go to Antigua, and I was telling him, oh, we're going to Antigua this year. We're going to have so much fun because we're going during Carnival. This is where my parents are from. You're going to see the island, blah, 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 whatever. And he was like, he not going. And I was like, why? He was like, well, he don't have any money. He didn't want to like freeload off my parents. And I'm like, they're my parents. They love you. Who cares? But he's like, nah, he not raised that way. And then he was like, he didn't want to go, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of got into a little. It wasn't even little, it was big. And usually how I am very, like, I'm buggy. Meaning, like, if I want you to do something, I'm gonna bug you until you do it. Because I'm spoiled, right? And so he was just, like, holding fast on that. Like, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, you know what? Fine, you don't want to do it, you ain't got to do it. And this was also at a time where we had been dating for 3 years. And we were dating prior to like before the breakup, so we knew each other. We were like in pre-engagement counseling, but he wasn't making no moves to get engaged. And so I was like, you know what, this Negro is taking up all my time, and he is just like playing me for a fool, blah blah. Well, not playing me for a fool, but like he's just like wasting my time. And so I was like, if he don't propose by December 31st of 2015, I'm gonna break up with him. I'm gonna leave him in the dust. I'm gonna go find somebody to love me for me and wants to get married, right? I was like, he's not about to waste all my good years, right? I'm still in my 20s, right? And so like of course I did not tell him this, because then that would have been a whole other fight. But when I made that decision, it was kind of around the time we were fighting about going to Antigua, and I was like, you know what? If he don't want to go to Antigua, he don't have to go to Antigua. I'm never bringing it up again, right? He said he's not gonna go. That's it. So I said that to say, because I'm usually buggy, so he expected me to like bug him about going to Antigua, but I didn't. Anyway, the time was coming closer for us to go to Antigua, and he told me that he wanted to see me off and he wanted to take me to the airport. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. You're gonna drive 1 hour and 45 minutes to take me to the airport that I live 10 minutes away from? Like, that makes no sense. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, he about to come on the plane with me. But of course I didn't say nothing, because I'm like, I just want to be like surprised, but I figured it out. I figured him out, blah, blah, blah. So he came up that day, put all my bags in the car, drove me to the airport, took my bags out, gave me a hug, and was like, okay, goodbye, I'll see you when you come back. And so I was like, wow, he's really not coming? Wow. I was just so like annoyed. So I flew up to New York that day, because it's usually easier to get a flight from Nashville to New York and then fly from New York with my parents to Antigua. So the plan was for me to go to New York and stay overnight, and then the next morning we would leave and go to Antigua. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to New York by myself. He's not gonna see us at all. I guess I'll see you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. So long story short, my sister gets engaged that day. Like, we were like I was super duper excited, because I love Marcus. That's my homeboy. We fight very, very much like brother and sister, because that's what we are. This is the High Fidelity Foundation in the shade Peyton. And so that was that. And so I don't know what happened. I thought Marcus went off to get his like sunglasses and everything, but then he was like, I gotta do something, and he disappeared. And so we finished whatever, we go back to our parents' house, and me, my sister, and my mom, we go back to the house, and Marcus is nowhere to be found. So I'm like, where's Marcus? And Kelly's like, I don't know, he went. You know how Marcus is, he just goes, which kind of is true, but kind of also isn't true, because Marcus likes to be with my sister. Like, he likes to be right there next to Marcus is to Kelly as I am to Reggie. Like, I like to be up under Reggie. Marcus likes to be up under Kelly. So I was like, that's weird. Whatever. And so you probably get me if I said that, but it's true. And so I was like, okay, that's strange. And then later on in the evening, I hear, like, I'm upstairs, like, repacking, like helping my mom get stuff in the bags, things like that. And I hear this deep voice in my parents' house. Now my dad's gone. My dad's voice is like regular. It's not like super deep. It doesn't have the vibrato, the timbre that Reggie's has. Marcus' voice does not have that timbre either. And so I was like, who's in the house? And I was like, that's so weird. So I come downstairs and Marcus is there, and I look in the living room on the couch, and there is Reggie. And I was like, what are you doing in my house, bro? I left you this morning in Nashville. He was like, surprise. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So my mom didn't know what was happening. He didn't know that he was coming. Nobody knew that he was coming except him, Kelly, and Marcus. So when Marcus left that second time, it's to go pick him up at the airport, so that he could surprise me at my parents' house and we can go to Antigua. So I text my friends. I was like, oh my God, Reggie showed up at my parents' house, blah, 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 blah. My best friend calls me and cries. And she's like, I love you so much, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why are you crying? She was like, I just do. And I was like, you're such a weirdo. She was like, and I was like, nothing's going to happen on this trip. He just wanted, like, we were fighting about it, and he didn't want me to know that he was coming. So, at this point, I'm managing my expectations, because, like, you play yourself when you don't manage your expectations. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna like trip. he came on this trip. It's fine, it's whatever. This is like the 4th family trip that he's come on, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, basically. Early that next morning, we got up, got on the plane, go to Antigua. We're fine. We're having a good time. So we get down to Antigua, and my dad comes to pick us up from the airport because he's already been down there for like a couple of weeks because that's how he do. And so he sees, first of all, he's not supposed to be in the customs place, but he sees Reggie, comes into the place where we getting customs done, and he goes, Reggie, Reggie, Reggie. Like, he doesn't see anybody else. He doesn't acknowledge me, his child, who was named after him, who he had known at that point for 28, 29 years, right? Right? But this Negro that he met 3 years ago, he is like, Reggie! He's so excited to see him. And he runs, and the customs people are like, sir, you can't be in here. He's like, he don't care. He's seeing Reggie. And I was just like, you know what? Where you know him from? We go and we stay at this place called Tamarind Hills. Like, the place was really, really nice. And so it became the hangout spot. Reggie's friend, one of Reggie's friends from college, his wife is Antiguan, and so they were down there at the same time because, you know, we went during Carnival. And so they would come over from time to time. We would grill. Like, we had people like local, my family's friends who still live there come over. Like, it was a good time, right? Everybody was having a ball. And so that's basically how the week went. And like, this whole time in my brain, I'm like, I'm not going to think about him proposing because it's not going to happen. And I'm just going to be very disappointed and just like end up crying. Since the place we were staying was like right on the beach, there was like a tiny little inlet that we could go and beach at. And so we had gone somewhere that day, and that night we were like, ooh, let's go night swimming. And so me, my sister, and my cousin, we went night swimming. And Reggie's like, no, I'm not going night swimming. I'm gonna come upstairs. And he was like, I'm gonna go in the house. And then the next day, I don't remember what we started off doing, but it was a Thursday, and we ended up going into town because there's only one town in Antigua. We went into town, and I think we were like getting like stuff to take back. We were doing that, and while we were out, this was probably like no, it was probably later than that. It was probably like 4 o'clock. We were like, oh, since we down here, let's get some KFC, because KFC in the islands is really, really good. We got our KFC. We came back to the villa and we ate. So by this time it's like maybe like 4:30ish. And the funny thing about was weird about that is, like, after we sat down at 8, we sat down maybe like 10 more minutes, 20 minutes tops. And my sister was like, all right, get ready for dinner. I was like, dinner? What? We just ate. What do you mean dinner? Like, she's like, we gotta go. We have dinner reservations and we need to be there by 6:21. I was like, that is so strange and exact. Like, that is just weird. And so she was like, okay, but get ready, get dressed. And I was like, okay, well, what do I wear? She was like, wear something nice. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, fine, ew. And so, like, I get in the shower, I'm getting ready, and Reggie's just like hovering around me like, are you okay? And I'm like, are you okay? Why are you being weird, weirdo? Like, get away from me. Like, honestly, he was acting like me in the situation. Like, because when he's with my family, I just always be like, you know, Reggie's quiet. So I'd be like, are you okay? Are you good? Like, blah, blah, blah. And that's how he was acting. I was like, what do you mean, am I good? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm a little annoyed that you're like hanging around and like, you're being weird. You know, like, stop being weird. We had like this really, really nice like indoor outdoor shower. So I was like showering indoor, showering outdoor, playing Leon La Havas in the bathroom, getting ready, blah, 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 whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, having a good time, like a good time. And then, so we're getting ready. I'm putting on my makeup. Reggie is getting ready too. My sister's getting ready. She's like, all right, guys, we got to leave and we got to be there by 6:21. So we all pile in the car. And so we were going to this restaurant named Share Rocks. And it is the second best restaurant in the Caribbean, or the first best. I don't remember, but it was a very, very highly rated restaurant. I don't know if we realized that it was on it wasn't a restaurant by itself, that it was in like a resort, but we couldn't find the entrance. So we're driving, 6:21 comes and goes, and we are still driving around looking for the entrance to this restaurant. So we finally found it. We park and we go up this little, like, we're like going through the resort, like going up through, like, it's very, very nice. It looks just like very, like, if you think in your mind like Caribbean, like without like bright colors and stuff, just like modern Caribbean, that's what it looked like just beautiful, right? And it's in the cliffs. And so the restaurant, I don't know if that's why they call it Share Rocks, is because it's like literally like sitting in the cliffs. So we go, and then there's this like lounge area, and there's like sunbeds, and we're just like sitting, chilling. They bring us like appetizers and drinks, and I'm like, what great service. Like, how did they know that we wanted these things? This is amazing, right? Clueless. I'm just thinking that we just having a nice time and this restaurant is fancy, so this is what they do to their patrons, right? Clueless. So yeah, we get to the restaurant. They give us these like rice bowls, and like it was just really delicious, like little accoutrement, little amuse-bouches. And I was just like, ooh, what service. They are amazing. This is why they're the best restaurant in the Caribbean. Like, just oblivious. So they're like, oh, you know, you guys can go sit down. Your table is ready. And I'm like, our table is ready. There's nobody here. Like, what? There's like one other like couple in the restaurant. And I was like, all the tables are ready. What are you talking about? So anyway, they put us in this like cabana thing. It looks like a Janet Jackson video. So if you think about like Janet Jackson, airy singing, dancing, the like white curtains blowing in the breeze, a little like, I want to say not a gazebo, kind of like a huppah, or like what's the other things they call it? Starts with a P, not a pagoda, not a portmanteau. I don't remember what it's called, but like the little thing. And it was just like breezy, and the sun is setting, and it's like you're looking out over the water, and it's just like super romantic. And Reginald is sweating. Like, it's hot, but it's not hot as how much he was sweating. And so like he's just like real quiet. I'm like, you're being really weird. Like, stop being weird. We order our food. I don't even remember what I get, but I know I have like 2 or 3 of them rum punches, and I'm inebriated. And so he gets ravioli, and it's like these 3 little raviolis, and I don't even think he eats all 3 of the raviolis. And I'm like, what's going on with you? Like, something's off. And he was like, nothing, I'm fine, it's whatever. And so we're just like having a good time, blah, blah, blah. We ordered dessert, I think we ordered dessert. I can't remember. I don't know anymore. A, it's been a long time. B, I was under the influence. I'm sitting down after having a fabulous meal, wonderful time at the lovely Share Rocks restaurant. And I look over at Reggie and I'm like, see, we've been on this trip this whole time, and I did not even bug you about getting married. He was like, what? I said, we've been here the whole time and I haven't said nothing about getting married, because, you know, we was fighting about it for a little bit. I'm like, he's taking up my youth. And he was like, you want to get married? He was like, yeah. He said, when? And I was just like talking out my butt at this point. I was like, next August. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. He was like, okay. And I was like, what you mean, okay? And he moved something on the table, and there was a ring box. And I was like, what is that? And he goes, Duane Aaron Francis, will you marry me? And I was like, yes. I was like, but when did you speak to my dad? And he was like, don't worry about that. Will you marry me? I was like, did you ask my dad? And he was like, you know, whatever, will you marry me? And so I was like, yes. And I started crying, and there's some pictures floating around between me and my best friends that y'all will never see, because I look so chunky and crying, like I'm ugly crying at this point, because it's, you know, Because like, it was completely, totally unexpected. Like, I had no clue that it was happening. Like, even though, like, I should have, but, you know, like, you know, when you assume you, like, kind of play yourself. So I don't want to play myself, and I don't want to get my hopes up because, and then it didn't happen, because then I'll be really mad, and then we probably would have broke up. Quicker than my December 31st. Anyway, so we get engaged, and we the chef comes out and was like, congratulations. So like, here's some champagne and chocolates and stuff. We are so happy that you decided to, you know, have this special moment at this wonderful top restaurant in the Caribbean. We were supposed to be at the restaurant by 6:21 because that was when the sun was setting. He was supposed to do it at sunset, but that didn't happen because we couldn't find the restaurant. So anyway, yeah, so my best friend, she knew. One day randomly she was like, what's your Pinterest again? Because you put something on there for me and I forgot and I want to go find it. And so I just gave her my password, because that is regular for us. Like, here's the password to Pinterest. Go on there and, you know, do whatever you need to do. And so she sent him my wedding pins, and he found the ring that I had pinned on there that I really liked, and he bought it. So everybody knew about it. Well, my parents didn't know about it because he talked to them when we went night swimming. That's when he talked to them. I figured that out later on, because I was just like every time you was around my parents, I was around my parents. So when did you talk to them about this? But it was when me, Leah, and Kelly, we went night swimming. So that presented the perfect opportunity. So I get back to the house, I show everybody my ring, everybody's like, oh, congratulations. And I start planning my wedding immediately. Another thing that should have tipped me off too, I'm just realizing, well, not just realizing this now, I'm just realizing I didn't tell y'all. That was that was August. In July, my sister came down and we went to look at the venue that I got married at, because she was like, let's just look at it. And I was like, for what? Like, I'm not engaged. She was like, let's just, I want to see it. That's stupid. Like, why would we do that? I'm not engaged. So anyway, so that should have tipped me off too, but I was just like oblivious to everything. I just thought everybody was losing their mind. I was just like, what is the matter with y'all? Y'all are crazy. But apparently it was me. It was me. Yeah, that is the story about how we got engaged. And you know, so we got engaged. Today is actually August 6th. And we got engaged August 6th, 2015. And then we got married August 7th, 2016. So it took me 366 days, because 2016 was a leap year. It took me 366 days to plan my wedding. And it came out really nice. Yeah. So that's it. And we're done with my face. Well, we're not done with my face. I need to spray it down. Hold on. And put on lip things. So guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy sharing our story, because I think it's really cute. Be sure to like the video, because liking is the easiest and the least expensive way for you to share my content with others, and so that people who like what you like can see the things that I create. Don't forget to hit the subscription button and the notification bell so that you can become part of the most fabulous, the most glamorous community here in YouTube, the Glam Fam, and know exactly when I upload. Don't forget to follow me on all major platforms at Glamazon1026, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.